Well, there are calls tonight for a thorough investigation into the contractors supposed to recover the bodies of pests killed on Auckland roads. Now, this comes after revelations a worker threw a dead cat into a ditch instead of taking it to a welfare centre so it could be returned to its owner. And the remains of what appear to be other animals were also found at the site. After Rebecca Jelley discovered her beloved cat Muffin had been killed by a car, she contacted Fulton Hogan to get the body back for a proper farewell. First off, she was told her mutilated cat was thrown off a cliff by a worker. The plot took a number of twists, but GPS coordinates from a Fulton Hogan truck eventually revealed the true story. I asked Rebecca Jelley what Fulton Hogan initially told her about Muffin's whereabouts.
It ended up that they believed the employee threw her off a cliff, as they said, which we weren't too impressed with. We dug a little deeper, and it turns out she had been dumped in a ditch not far from their offices.
So you went out with the team from Fulton Hogan, did you, to try and locate her? What happened at the first spot you went to?
So the first spot was about 30 kilometres or nearly 30 kilometres from Muffin's final resting spot. And we went out there with a crew from Fulton Hogan, and we're busy looking down this cliff face, and unfortunately the employee who was responsible wasn't engaging in the search in any way, sort of standing off and not helping, and that sort of just left us feeling quite uneasy about the situation and sort of not sure what really was the truth at this point.
So the worker originally said where you were searching was where he had dumped Muffin's body?
Correct, yes.
And what had he said about the condition of your cat?
He said that the reason for this was that Muffin was in two pieces.
Was that true?
No, it wasn't. We recovered her body eventually intact.
When you were told that, how did you react at the time?
Well, quite angrily, I would say, given we had had a number of sightings to confirm that she was not mangled in any way, she wasn't disfigured, and so that inconsistency it wasn't a good feeling.
So you were being told stories?
We were, exactly.
How did you find her in the end?
We just pushed and pushed and pushed. It turns out my little brother turned up at their offices and basically said, we want the cat back and I'm not leaving till we get it. Finally, we did get her back by asking to review their GPS tracking in the truck, and this is where they found actually there was a site near their offices where she was actually dumped in the end.
So, just so we understand this properly, the GPS on the truck that the worker had used led you to a particular site where the truck had been stopped?
Yes, well, it led Fulton Hogan there, and they disclosed this location to us.
And who found Muffin?
Fulton Hogan's crew. They went out there to collect her and bring her back to us.
So how have they explained all of this to you?
Not with much clarity at the moment. It's very much seems to be channeled on this one particular individual, but that's definitely not how we see this issue at all.
So how do you see it?
We see this as a loophole in the current system that is being exploited. We understand that companies can have one or two bad eggs, but in order for something like this to happen, obviously the protocol has not been supervised properly and there are ways to avoid doing the job correctly.
So what are they supposed to do when they find a pet or an animal that's deceased on the road?
So this, again, seems to be something that is unclear. Speaking to Fulton Hogan directly, they said that protocol is, regardless of the pet's condition, they get taken to the welfare centre, who scan them for a chip, they hold them and they try to reunite them with their family. Again, talking with council, we're sort of getting a different story. So to be honest, right now, we're not sure.
What do you want to happen now?
I want to see there to be a change in the process. I want to make sure that there's a protocol in place that people know to follow, and that if there is a job logged with the council, that it's followed up to the point that, okay, this pet has been collected and it has been taken to the shelter. There's no sort of lost in the middle, lost in translation, no one knows where it is business anymore.
How worried are you that this, Muffin situation is not a one-off?
Very concerned. We had been assured by Fulton Hogan numerous times that this is definitely a one-off situation. As soon as I posted my story online, there are a lot of comments suggesting that this is not the case, and in fact it's been going on for years. In addition to this, finding animal bones at Muffin's final dumping site also raises concerns.
So tell us about that. What else was found where Muffin was found?
So we went to that site after we found out about the location because we wanted to see whether or not there was anything else there. We found a rib cage that, when we passed the photos on to a couple of vets, think it looks like a dog. We found hip implants, which look to be also from a dog, and you think that somebody who spent, nearly $30,000 on a pet isn't going to just dump it on the side of the road. We found numerous cats, unfortunately, there, and just lots of little animal bones, which is really distressing.
And what does that make you think, what you found?
Of course, there's no evidence, obviously, to directly link it to Fulton Hogan, but the fact that it's the same location just leads me to suspect possibly this is a much wider issue, and this is sort of just them cutting corners and not following through on the process properly.
And so you did get Muffin back. You were persistent and you got your cat back. What did you do?
We got her back and we've got her cremated, and for us, it's just such a relief, even though we're going through this time where we're very upset, a relief to have her home and have her with us and with our family again. It's just so important for us.
And that was Rebecca Jelley. And we did ask Fulton Hogan on to give us an interview, but they declined to speak to us. They did give us a statement, however. They say the actions of the individual concerned are contrary to common decency, and our company values and procedures around how we recover the bodies of pets, and we are currently dealing with the individual in an appropriate manner. They go on to say we have expressed our sincere apologies to the family for the distress they have been through, and have also reiterated to our teams the duty of care we have when collecting deceased animals from the roading network.